So basically, I'm a fashion stylist. I've styled over 30 celebrities, including Kanye West, Rihanna, Ed Sheeran, T.I., just a various range of celebrities. I used to be fashion editor for 3 magazines, which is streetwear magazines, and I've also styled a different range of working with different magazines. So I do from high street to high fashion, and I've styled kids. So that's really who I am. So I just want to talk about I just want to talk a little bit about how I started. I want to talk about when I was 8 years old and how I started to suffer from depression. Now, it all started when I was 8 years old. I used to get bullied at school. And the reason why I used to get bullied at school is because I had hard hair. My hair was like, my mother never could do hair. So she used to just comb my hair in one, and my bobble was like this. Can you see? Like a 2p piece. And I remember going into school and everyone used to be, look at you, like, I used to get bullied every day, like, no hair. And there was a particular girl, she used to take my money every single day. I used to go home, I used to cry, but I never used to tell my mum because my mum had me at a very young age. She was a teenager and she's Jamaican, like she's a hardcore Jamaican, and like she's the type of woman that would have went to the school, beat up the teachers and beat up the girl, and then it's like, oh my God, I don't want to tell my mum because I started to become in fear. But I remember looking in the mirror, I just look at myself and I used to think to myself, I don't like you. I never used to like what I looked like. I used to hate myself. I wanted to be that L'Oreal girl in the campaign swishing her hair. So I remember visualizing myself that I'm not black, I'm European, and that's what used to make me wholesome. I thought the bullying was gonna stop. The bullying got worse. Now, in secondary school, I had the people in my year bullying me, and then the oldest bullying me. So every day I was going to school with the same hairstyle. My mum didn't even upgrade my hairstyle. That is terrible. She couldn't even upgrade my hairstyle. So I went to school. Every day I was getting bullied, but the same thing, I kept it to myself. I went home, I used to just hate myself. On occasions, I used to bunk school. I didn't used to go to school, and but I remember finding fashion. So I was 11 years old when my mum's friend used to go to Ghana. She used to buy African cloth, and I remember taking this cloth and I started to hand stitch. I don't even know where I got this from because no one in my family was creative. So I started to hand stitch, and I made like I don't think you know what that was. Years ago, there was like Queen Latifah used to wear this kind of hat, and there was like an African gown. I was going to a hip hop party, and it was like based on that was the theme. So I went to the party. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, you are wicked." So I started to get a name like Denise Young Brown. She could make clothes. So from that, I got loads of clients. My mum's friends, my family. Like I started to get a name. Started to make people clothing. And then, so basically it just went on from then. But at that same time, because I was bullied so much, I was so angry. Even though the bullying stopped at 13, I became bitter. By then I was angry. Because I never really went to school, I was well behind. And at that time, I had more trouble in my household. My mother became a crack addict. And then my household became from a loving family with just me, my mum and my sister to becoming a crack den. So when I used to go back home from school, there used to be either drug dealers in my house or people used to be piping crack cocaine. I never had authority in my house. My mother's friends used to control me. So what I used to have to do is go home, quickly put on my clothes, and I was forced to be out of my household. And from that, I formed into a gang. I was angry. All of me and my friends, we were just upset. We hated the world. We had no fathers. Our mothers were on drugs. Some of my mother's friends had mental illness. And at that time, I was going through my mental illness. So I was going through depression, but I didn't know because I was young. I didn't speak to anyone because at that time, you don't want to you don't want to tell anyone about your mother because I love my mum dearly. I thought I could protect my mum by keeping everything to myself. So the household became really, really depressing, and then one time social services got involved. I got taken away, I got put into care, and that's when I thought my life was going to change, but my life became worse. I was fostered from a family, from a woman. It was my mother's friend. I used to have to sleep on the floor because there was no space. Her mother also was a prostitute, and she was a crack addict. I don't know what was going on them days, but a lot of people was going through that. That made me more, I was just angry. And because of that, at that time I was doing my GCSEs. I failed my GCSEs. I didn't get into my favourite college, which was London College of Fashion. I felt like my life was over. And I remember at the same time, I've always had God in my life, and I've always been praying. I've been like, God, please help me. If you go to my house, I've got like piles and piles and piles of writing of how I felt. I used to think I was going to be a singer. I'm going to be the next Mary J. Blige, sing about how I feel within. It was so depressing for me, but I kept it in. I wore a mask. My mask was like, on the outside, people think, oh my God, she's so lovely, because I've got a personality. But inside, I was depressed. But what really helped me was making clothes. That's what I used to release the pain that I felt inside. Eventually, I got into London College of Fashion by doing work. I did like loads of work experience. I started from scratch. I did like a foundation in fashion. But at the same time, my mother, she lost her house. She became worse and worse. She had children, and things just got way out of hand. But in my head, I thought I could look after her. She's my mum. I'm not giving up on my mum. I'm the one that's going to be here to change her life. I spent years and years and years trying to help her, but it never, ever, ever happened. I'll tell you about the whole transformation in my life. So, studying, everything that I've done in my life, I've always been depressed. I've never, ever been happy. I started to get used to being depressed because it was something like, you know when it's like an addiction. It's like I was addicted to being a fixer. I grew up, started to dating guys that I used to fix. I'd be like, oh, you got problems? Denise said, well, fix it. You know, it's like, it was a bit crazy. Like, guys that I go out with, I have to fix them. It's from having a mother like that. So guys I'll fix my friends. All my friends had issues. We all had issues. We were like the issue girls, do you know? But it was natural to us. And what turned around my life, even when I went to London College of Fashion, I was dating all different, just crazy kind of guys, getting myself into trouble, as always. And then what really turned over my life was one day, I nearly got killed. And this guy, he abused me, and he nearly killed me. And then that's when I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go back to church. I decided I want to be a fashion stylist, and I started from the bottom. And I assisted a celebrity stylist called Cynthia. And even though she was hard work, I knew I wanted this. I had to work hard for this. This was my dream. I never wanted to be like my mum, I said to myself. I do whatever it takes. I was a single mum. I had my son at that time as a teenager, and I had to fight for this. So I worked for Cynthia, and I put up with all the nonsense that I was getting, and then eventually I became the fashion stylist. And that's how I got to, so from then it went on and on and on. I was styling all these celebrities, and I'm styling campaigns, I'm doing Nike, it was crazy. And I was in the place thinking, I remember being at the Brits like, oh my God, you know when you do, I'm hitting myself, is this me? Is this me? Do you know what I mean? I couldn't believe that this was me, that the girl who's coming from such a troubled place is in this place styling all these type of people. This was like a dream come true. I used to pray about this, and imagine I'm here right now. So what I'm saying to you guys, if you're going through anything in your life, just speak to someone. Do you understand what I'm saying? Speak to your mum, speak to your family members, even if you can speak to your doctor. Don't keep nothing in your heart, because you know what? Because I kept everything in my heart, it took me years to actually even see a counsellor. It was only just the other day I started to see a counsellor. I realised, wait a minute, Denise, you're special, you know? You have a gift. I used to hide my gift. All my pictures are in my hard drive. I never used to show anything. I'd be like, oh, I don't want no one in my business. They're going to think I'm a show off. What craziness is that? You know, I used to be like, no, I was in fear of, what if no one doesn't like it? But what I'm saying to you guys, if any one of you that are going through anything, just speak to someone. It's so important. A lot of us people, we like to think that we can do everything ourselves. Do you understand? We think that we can fix everything, but all it takes is just speaking to someone and getting professional help. I used to see professional help as, they're gonna think I'm crazy. They're gonna be all up in my business. They're gonna judge me. But it's so different from that. So yeah, so my journey is, become a celebrity stylist, styled loads of magazines, created Fashion Changed My Life. That's my company. I speak about how fashion's changed my life. Got the academy. I've taught over 400 young people. I've got young people into employabilities. It's just been incredible. And there's times when I'm teaching and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I'm the teacher. So yeah, so that's pretty much me, that's my story, and I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. But yeah, I hope you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my life. I mean, when I went to secondary school, I'll tell you